right, so this gentleman says he's got beef. What's going on, Brett?
Give me one minute.
All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Um, First time calling, of course. I generally agree with you,
Cool.
but this is my concern.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm Jewish,
Oh, no. Here we go.
ethnically Jewish. I'm not religiously Jewish, really.
Oy vey.
I'm actually a quarter ethnically Jewish. Um, but let's say your guys get in.
Uh-huh.
Let's say we have a president that ends white genocide or whatever. Who comes after that? I'm thinking that whoever comes after that is going to be worse. And like there'd be a real genocide of you know
What? You think that we can't end white genocide without beginning a Jewish genocide?
no, that's not what I mean at all. Um, the way I see it though is the pendulum swings one way, and it swings to the right. Why would it just stop at the guy who just wants traditionalism, whatever? How do we know that it's not going to be someone worse? Because there's no real way to get rid of. Oh, sorry, I'm saying it wrong. I'm kind of
Well,
nervous now.
I kind of understand what you mean. And I was actually thinking about this today because basically what you're saying is that to end white genocide, to restore traditional white society, that would bring with it inertia, and the excesses of that would be real xenophobia, right? Real hostility towards perceived or real outsiders. That if we had the restoration of a core American identity centered around ethnicity and race, well, we would tend to regard not whites as outsiders, and there might be backlash against them. And to me, that's almost inevitable. And you're basically right about that. However, I would take the excesses of that as opposed to the excesses of this. You know, in the sense that right now, when we have no identity and it's just gang rape on America by the third world, it's horrible. Everybody loses. Whereas if the pendulum swings the other way, you know, the metaphorical pendulum swings the other way and there's excesses in the other direction. I'm not saying genocide is okay. I'm not saying anything like that, or like that would happen or that would be inevitable. No. But would you see hostility on the periphery? I think you would see that in small percentages. I think you would see a small increase in that. But to me, when we're looking at society, when we're looking at these larger trends, we have to talk about trade-offs. Nobody talks about the trade-offs of the current regime, which is that we have crime, which is that we have an IQ that's lowering. I mean, there's so many systemic problems which are making life worse, as opposed to incidental problems that you'll have if it went the other way. And so systemic versus incidental is really what it comes down to. And so to me, I would definitely trade off, and maybe that's because I'm on the inside. I think even if I was on the outside, I would take that deal, honestly. I would prefer having, you know, once in a blue moon, something like that happens. And you see this in China, you see this in other countries, as opposed to not having a country. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I'm not opposing you on that. I'm saying like, um, people are mad because of they're rightfully mad at Jews for what they've been doing.
I don't know what you're
But
talking about. I love Jews.
and I mean, I recognize it. I'm not trying to defend that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is like with Hitler,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want to gas the Jews at the beginning, I don't think. He just wanted to get rid of them. But the thing is, that's what's cheaper, is to just kill them.
Is
It's
that
a lot
cheaper,
easier.
though? Is
Yeah, it
is it
is.
easier to acquire enough Zyklon B to mass exterminate and construct camps with infirmaries, swimming pools, soccer fields, train tracks, and on and on? Do you think that's cheaper than, it's almost like there just
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
quite
it's
add
cheaper
up.
than giving plane ticket to go to Israel, right?
Burning thousands
Don't
of
you think?
people every day for 5 years is easier than sending them somewhere else when they're already fleeing. I don't know. It's kind of hard.
Well, there's other examples of this too in history besides Hitler. there's a lot of other genocides that happen. If
Mm,
there's no place to put them, then it's a lot easier to just kill them. That's the way I see it.
I don't know. To me, I think that we're not really in any danger of that. I'm not really worried about that because, you're ethnically Jewish. You're worried about your people. I'm ethnically white. I'm worried about my people, So you're saying, well, if we start saving white people, perhaps there will be too much inertia and it'll hurt my people. Yeah, well, I'm a little bit less worried about your
Well,
people
yeah,
than
I
mine.
understand that, but
Your people are doing okay. Your people are doing all right these days. I'm not really too worried about them. I think they'll be just fine. They always have been. White people, on the other hand, different trajectory. Kind of a big frowny face, big downward red arrow.
well, like you don't support Israel, obviously, right?
Well, I don't believe America should support Israel.
Well, do you think it should exist?
I'm kind of ambivalent about it.
I mean, okay, maybe not Israel, but do you think a Jewish homeland should exist?
Sure. I think people have a right to self-determination. I think my problem with Israel is not that the Jewish state exists. My problem is that we give them money and they abuse us, So if we didn't have that relationship, I think actually Israel would be worth looking at in a positive way if we didn't have this parasitic relationship. Because if you look at what's
Well,
happening in Israel, it's a lot like what's happening in Hungary and in Poland. So,
yeah, I mean, I would want to like change that, but I don't have any power to do that right now. But I figure in the
yeah.
future, I don't see anyone who's Jewish and would support like ending all the problems that's coming out of Israel. Why they would support this because they could easily seeing it going too far.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
I hope it doesn't go too far. I hope that when we save our people, man, I sure hope it doesn't go. If even one globalist died in the process of saving our people, the cost would have been too high. Call it off, folks. Give the babies away. Give them your wives. It's another Holocaust.
Well, obviously,
joking.
you're being sarcastic, but I mean, you're not really being sarcastic, right?
Oh, I'm being sarcastic. I just want everyone to get along. I just want world peace, really.
Well, like, I mean, sometimes you kind of dog whistle a little bit to
whistle.
people who actually do want that. Yeah.
Dog whistle to people who want what, a genocide of the Jewish people? I have never dog whistled to those people.
Well, you make jokes a little bit about, Hitler did nothing wrong, or
I don't think I've ever said that.
Israel did 9/11.
I think Israel was involved in 9/11. I think Israel is involved in 9/11.
What?
You think that's controversial?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I think Israel was involved in 9/11. That's not a dog whistle. That's just a regular whistle.
Well, I mean, what you just said, you're like, oh, it'd be such a tragedy if a one Jew died. You're obviously being sarcastic. So doesn't that mean that you kind of would support that?
No. The point is that, I mean, your question is exactly if in the process of saving this country, saving its people, it would have excesses. Like, wouldn't that be a problem? I mean, to me, doesn't that kind of say all you need to know? It's the white people are being exterminated. And you as a Jewish person are saying, well, if the white people stop their extermination, wouldn't that hurt my people? Wouldn't that have the potential to hurt my people, actually? Well, maybe you should go to Israel if you're concerned about that. Maybe people should go to Israel if they're so concerned. I think if everybody was in their own countries, nobody would have to worry about that. You wouldn't have to...
Wait a minute. That's what I want to do. Here's the thing, though. I think you said in the past that you want to replace Israel with like a Christian thing or something.
I think I've said that in a joking way or as a far-off hypothetical, but it's certainly not in the cards anytime soon. And in any case, we'd move them somewhere else. If in fact we and let's say we save the white, and this is all very you're saying so let me get this straight. You're saying, well, if you save the white race and the Jews were in Israel, well, then you would also go and restore the Holy Land. So we can't even get about this saving the white race business, because ultimately, I mean, don't you see the problem here? And this is the problem with civic nationalism, or solely civic nationalism. Your group, clearly, including yourself, are pursuing the interests of your own group at the expense of everyone else, at the expense of the ruling group, my group. And we're going along with it. We're being led to slaughter. So people can't live together in the same settlement, basically. And if you have a big problem with that, you should go where your people are, I think. And look, all these blacks, that's all they do is complain about white supremacy and racism and so on. There's a whole continent where you would never have to experience racism, but they don't want to go there. And the same is true with the Hispanics. Oh, it's racism, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole country. It's called Mexico. It's great, south of the border. And Jewish people, all they do is kvetch in every country. England, Europe, America. Oh, there's another Holocaust beginning, so on and so forth. Well, they carved out a country for that purpose. And but they want to stay here. And and you even acknowledge what's going on with white people, and you acknowledge a certain level of culpability by Jewish power, and you're concerned about that backlash. That's just wild to me. I think that says it all, right?
Why is that? Why is that wild? Isn't that what exactly you expect?
Yeah, I just think it's it's for you to come on and say, like, well, this would be bad for my people and so on. I guess it is exactly what I would expect, but it's just so brazen. It's just so shameless. Maybe that's what's shocking about it,
Well, I'm saying if Jewish people have so much power, why would they ever give it up to like? I'm not like saying this is a threat, and I'm definitely not involved in that. But why would they ever give it to someone who would like not support them in any way, or be less likely to support them?
It's almost like it has to be wrested. It's almost like it has to be seized in a certain capacity, because because you're right. There is a certain interest group, and there's many interest groups, but you're right. They're not going to give it up, and that kind of spells it out, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. How is that going to be how are you going to take the power back?
Well, we don't really even want the power back. I'm not really even interested in that. As long as I can, look, if it would prevent another Holocaust, I would remain docile and obedient to the state.
No, don't joke. Answer me.
Oh, what do you want me to answer? What's the question?
What exactly would you do? What exactly is going to happen?
What exactly is going to happen, or what am I going to do?
Okay, what would be your plan?
What would be my plan? I'm not going to tell you my plan. You're working against me, clearly. Why would I tell you my plan? You come on the show and you say, that's literally what you're doing. You come on the show and you say, you better be careful, Goy. You're going to save your people, and it's going to hurt mine.
I'm not saying that.
You're coming around like a gangster. These people, man. You're coming around like a gangster, and this is what used to happen to my ancestors. My family in Chicago has had a lot of experience with certain gangsterism, and that's what it is. It's what it is. So
yeah, but you're still dodging.
I'm not dodging.
Yeah, you are.
We're gonna take over the country. We're gonna take over the country. We're gonna take over, and you laugh, but you won't be laughing.
I doubt it would be democratically.
Yeah, well, you'll see. You'll see. And look, you laugh now. I think it'll be democratic. And if it's not, well, I don't think we're going to go out without a fight, certainly. But, we'll try as best as we can.
I'd vote for anyone who'd, like, stop this stuff. I mean, I'm going to vote for Trump in 2020.
Why? Isn't that going to lead to another Holocaust?
No, because it's not the same. It's not the same kind of thing. That's not.
What do you mean?
Well, Trump isn't like Patrick Little or anything like that.
True. That's true. So, well, nobody's like, man, Patrick Little's kind of one of a kind.
And Trump is pretty pro-Israel. He's pretty pro-Jewish in general. Yeah. Like, the approval rating for Orthodox Jews is like over 90%.
Yeah, but I mean, do the neocons like him? Does the media like him? Not really. Not really. So, But that's another debate about Trump. Look, big guy, all I can say is, good luck. Well, I may see you on the battlefield one day, and
Oh.
it'll be yours versus ours. But
I mean, that's kind of proving my point then, right?
that's your
I'm gonna see you on
framing.
the
That's your
battlefield.
framing. You came on the show saying you're essentially stopping white genocide will lead the pendulum swinging, implying a certain impersonal inertia.
No, I'm not saying will. I'm saying what precautions can you take to make sure that doesn't happen?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not really concerned about that at this point. I'm more concerned about the fact that our people aren't reproducing, that we're vanishing. You're over here saying, well, that's the whole problem. That's the whole problem. That really lays it all out right there is the Jewish self-interest, which is to say that you're more concerned with the blowback than the genocide. I mean, it would be like if what's happening in South Africa, if you had like a little Jewish guy in the background of the Boer meeting. They're in a shelter. They're besieged by the African National Congress. And they're like, how can we get out of this? And you have a Jewish guy saying, well, in the event that we do, what precaution can you take that you're going to be nice to those people out there? I mean, that's essentially what's happening. Why don't we figure that out? We'll figure out, a great solution. That's the wrong word. We'll figure out. Honestly, that was an accident. We will figure out. That was an accident. We will figure out. Yeah. We will figure out a settlement that we can make. I promise you, once we save our people, then we'll figure something out so we could live together in harmony. Because there's a lot of Jewish people that are, not joking. I have a lot of Jewish friends. There are a lot of Jewish people. You look at people like Gottfried. You look at all kinds of people who are real winners and who are telling the truth and are working for what's right. And I don't want to see that happen. In all honesty, I don't. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I believe in nationalism for everybody. So in all seriousness, I hope there are no excesses. But understandably, I think we're far more concerned about.
Yeah, okay. I see how that works. I just hope that there's like a deal that can be made and it doesn't, turn out badly.
Close with this. Okay, I think we're back now. Okay. But so basically, yeah, I guess the audio went out for a moment, but I think it's back now.
Okay.
I don't know when it cut out.
I've been hearing you just fine, so.
Yeah, because I'm using a different mic for my Discord. Let me see. Is it back? I'm waiting. Okay, I guess it's back now. Fixed. All right. But so anyway, so the last option he said was recognition, just saying they're two different groups and they can live together, but recognizing that they're different. And I think that would be doable.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll take my leave then.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the call. It was interesting at the very least.